Hello and welcome to our Sunday Tool Talk, our new format for NUMROTO Know-how, manufacturing technology and much more. What I'm trying to do here is to create something completely new with you. I want to regularly discuss interesting topics, present content from NUMROTO and answer your questions. As you probably know, there is currently no content, no exchange and no honest voice for us in the industry that deals with such topics. That's why I started the Cutting.Tool.Academy a little over 4 years ago. Because I understand how hard it is to get really good knowledge. So if you need support, send me an email or visit our website. We have a solution for everyone. But now, let's talk about the Sunday Tool Talk. I'm going to keep it simple and direct, no unnecessary nonsense or complicated things. Simple and practical, just the way it should be. By the way, if you like this content, leave a like, share the video or comment. And if you, like many others, prefer not to write in public, just send me a private message. This actually happens more often than you might think and is the reason this project was started. So I get small questions all the time that are relatively easy to answer. And so that everyone can benefit, we just do it here. Besides, I don't want to charge money for every little thing. Of course, your questions will always be handled confidential, so you don't have to worry about looking bad on this page. Unfortunately, this seems to be very important to many people. No one wants to admit that they don't know something or that they need help. And so many people prefer just to watch from the sidelines. But to be honest, just watching doesn't get you anywhere. I don't know everything either, but that's why a strong network is so important. Okay, let's get started. From now on, there will be 5 main topics from which I will choose 2 in each episode, plus the Q&A topic, which will always be included. I've come up with the following examples for the 5 topics. Topic controversial. Promise regrind with original manufacturer geometry. Topic Academy offers. QW stuck removal rate, HEF optimization. Topic equipment and technology, hydraulic chuck versus Schaublin collets. Topic NUMROTO Know-how, NumDraw, yes, it really works. And the Q&A question about flute and flute polishing wheels. Okay, I hope this sounds interesting to you, but of course I'm always open to new ideas and requests. But for now, let's just get started and see how things go. So in this episode 1, we will have the following topics. Topic controversial. Promise regrind with original manufacturer geometry. Topic NUMROTO Know-how, NumDraw, yes, it really works. And the Q&A question about flute wheels and flute polishing wheels. Topic controversial. Promise regrind with the original manufacturer's geometry. So, why this topic? I see quite often, like regrinding shops and they offer, regrind with original manufacturer geometry, or even worse, they say our tools perform even better than the original. Questionable, difficult. So, I see the following issues. And I have written down quite a few things here. And the first one is the microgeometry with many details unknown to second parties. We all know how complicated cutting tools can be. And we're talking about, unequal indexes, variable helix and so on, different relief angles in the front, in the back, and so on. Coatings, edge prep, many more. So if you offer an original regrind to the specification of the manufacturer, I mean, you probably have to analyze every tool. So you have to measure every tool for each geometry, each like material specific, each diameter. Like cutting angles can vary from small diameter to big diameter. So this is complicated. And also, talking about the coding. If you regrind the tool, you need to recode. And if you don't know what the exact coding was that the original manufacturer put on that tool, it's gonna be not the same. And so I talked about the problems in programming as well. So every manufacturer, tool type and diameter would require his own program. Otherwise, how do you intend to recreate the original geometry? So if I send you 15 different tools from 15 different manufacturers and different material types, so that would mean that you need to write programs for every type, tool type, manufacturer, because otherwise, how do you want to recreate the original geometry? It's not possible. And then, so how do you deal with the quality? So normally you have work instructions you have to go by. So that means if you have your original geometry, you have to measure the tool, you need to take care of margin widths, of rake angles, you have to measure it. So it's not only that you have to create the programs for grinding, so you also need programs for checking the tools, and this is complicated. And the last point I have here on my list is even the original manufacturer struggles to maintain consistent quality. What I mean with that is, we did a lot of regrind, a lot of manufacturing, and especially on drills, it's difficult to hide quality issues. So what I mean with that is I had a lot of problems with different core diameters in drills. And if you have an S6 tip type, if your core diameter is going to vary, you have the problem with the S radius. So in your first case, maybe your S radius sits a little too high. Then ideally the S radius goes all around, or your S radius is grinding completely into your flute. And this is caused by the core diameter. And if the core diameter is going to be bigger and smaller, your side distance will change. So that means your rake angle is changing. And I had this, like that problem it's a common problem because the process was not just adjusted. And that was not a small manufacturer. That was like a big company, And they sell the tools, we are the best and blah blah blah, etc. But they're not. So those problems are more common than you might think. And then if you want to regrind those tools, so you're going to end up and you have to pre-measure every tool and sort them in groups by side distance. So you have different groups of side distance. Then you need even for one tool. I think it was 4 or 5 programs just for one tool. So I leave it at that. So for me, this is a highly questionable promise. If you promise original manufacturer regrind, difficult. So however, solutions for high quality regrind, regrinding third-party tools is possible, and you can earn quite a lot of money with it if you do it right. However, good regrinding is difficult. In general, much harder than manufacturing new tools. This is important. And but with the right strategies and methods, it can be done. And but what I recommend, keep it small. If you get boxes with all sorts of different manufacturers and different tools, it's not worth it. Or it's or then it's your own geometry. I mean, it's not bad either, but then you can't promise original manufacturer regrind. So I leave it at that. So conclusion, do not promise regrind with the original manufacturer's geometry unless you truly have an official partnership with the tool manufacturer, and then most likely they give you the documentations of the tools and the prints and everything, and then you can regrind this specific brand. This is okay, but anything else, I wouldn't do it. So okay, what else do I have here? Yeah, of course, the last thing, if you want to learn how to regrind, we offer specialized regrinding training focused exclusively on applying the right strategies. That is important. You can learn that from us, and also like feeds and speeds and all that stuff, and also how to group tools, because I'm also not a big fan of having just one program and then let's say stuck removal, I don't know, from the outside diameter, like 1 millimeter or 2. So I rather write my programs in groups. So if I have a 10 millimeter program and then I reduce it by 0.4 something, and then I write different programs. So my tools are also, they get reground in steps. So this is also good for your customer, because then you can mark the tool, on the shank, put a little mark on it, and then he knows, okay, the tool has been reground, I don't know, like 4 times, and it has the diameter, whatever. So that works pretty well. So yeah, those are my thoughts about the promise regrind with original manufacturer's geometry. Topic: NUMROTO Know-how. NumDraw, yes, it really works. A quick overview of NumDraw. So NumDraw is the official in-house drawing program from NumRoto. Works quite well. I really like it. And the content comes directly from the 3D sim or from the main data. And it represents 100% reality. So you have the chance, like you do your 3D simulation, and then you can make customized views, and export that to the NumDraw, and then you can dimension directly on that specific view. So this is quite unique. And also it represents 100% reality. So this is not a weird 2D sketch, which we know from many, like most simple drawing programs. So the benefit is you have like a real one-on-one print. So you are able to dimension the exact tool. So you program something in 3D, and then you can dimension on that 3D simulation. And when used correctly, it is relatively fast. So of course, it's like a little bit, you have to know the workflow and everything. But I believe that's with everything is the same. If you have like a new program or whatever, or even like with tool grinding, if you don't know the tricks, and like all the ways to handle it right, you will have a problem. And it's the same here. So if you just spend a little time and with the proper training, and NumDraw will be like a great asset. And you can not only use it for tool drawings, like I also like to use it for measuring instructions or work instructions, so. But now, so why the headline? Yes, it really works. And that was because someone claimed that our drawings were not real. And there was a guy, he was writing me, and he believed that the drawings were not coming out of NumDraw, or there were some kind of edited afterwards. I don't know what the problem was he had, but he took his time to write me. So Unfortunately, my offer of a free demonstration was ignored, which means I can't help. Yeah. So please, you shouldn't always reject everything right away. It's usually the case that the team and the developers have thought of something before they did the implementation. And NumDraw has grown quite a bit over the last few years. This is not like a version 1. NumDraw is on the market for quite some years. And, its functionality and like I said, if you know how to use it right, you can make excellent high quality tool drawings, and you just have to know how to use it right. And yeah, so therefore now the proof that the drawing is real. I'm gonna take you with me to my PC, and then I show you the drawing of my step drill program from LinkedIn. All right, we are back, and I'm about to take some time to show you my program and drawing. So this is the program I made. It's the tool from LinkedIn. Everything is included. The pictures I took from the 3D sim. Also, I attached my 3D model. I always do that. So everything is here. So this is real. And now I'm opening the drawing. So that's it. So everything is real. I made the drawing, the details. You can shift them, you can manipulate them, you can change the tolerances, you can, like, everything it's complete independent, right? So you can do what you want. Or let's say I don't like that. Then I just switch it off. Or for example, I want to add a new dimension and I want to get the smallest land width. So take that micron away. Okay, maybe a little up. Shift that here. Or for example, those text boxes, I added that manual. For example, I could change that into 0.2. So this is 100% real. It's just important, like you need a certain workflow. Like if I do training on that stuff, I always tell my students, if you don't have the layout, if you don't know what you want, like, don't even start. Like, if you want to make a drawing like this, you have to know your positions, okay? So you have to know what you need to know what you want to have on the print. Otherwise, there is like no way to go for you, because you simulate a tool and then you have to make those pictures. So, and the way you make those pictures, and you can, like, you import that they come with the DXF lines, and then you can make your dimensions on it. So you have to know your layout first, and then you go from there. Also, this will not be like a NumDraw course or anything else. I'm just here to prove this is real, and it's not complicated. So everything on here is, you can manipulate it, choose it, whatever you want. So you just have to know how, and then it works. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if that is working for me, it will work exactly the same for you. Topic Q&A. Questions about flute and flute polishing wheels. Many people have asked me to recommend grinding wheels. And for the most part, fluting wheels and flute polishing wheels. But before we start, I just like to point one thing out. I don't get any money from any manufacturers. This is not like a commercial or whatever. So if I recommend something, I stand behind that product because I know it works. That's the whole reason, I do that here. So, and if that will change, you will see it on my website that I have a like official partnership, but this is not paid. So I'm gonna tell this because I am convinced and I tested those products myself. So, okay, flute wheels, Tyrolit XPP. This is like my all-time favorite fluting wheel. It's a very forgiving wheel that performs well in all areas. And we're talking about not a regular size tooling, like D54 wheel. And like I said, like the Tyrolit XPP is an excellent fluting wheel. Never had problems with it. You can dress it quite good. It's not overpriced. And also all our programs, like, you probably know it, like you can buy all the programs we have from our website. You can just download the program, load it onto your machine, and you're good to go. And the fluting wheels, because like fluting wheels, like the most important wheel, of course. You can either save a lot of time or waste a lot of time. And it's optimized based on that data. So our programs are written with Tyrolit XPP wheels. Yes. A second wheel I want to recommend is the Norton Q-Flute. And it's probably the same performance. I tested it also. It works quite well. But, at some point you have to make a decision. Okay. So what wheel do I want to buy? And since we always use Tyrolit and the Q-Flute wasn't really like much better, so we just kept on using the Tyrolit XPP wheel. But also Q-Flute, excellent wheel, same performance, excellent wheel. And yes, so Tyrolit XPP, Norton Q-Flute. If you're looking a fluting wheel, that's like a wheel you can buy and it works. So you won't have a problem with it. And there are a lot of fluting wheels on the market. They are not good. So, and if you don't want to go through all the wheels, test those two wheels first and you will be happy. Flute polishing wheels. And here it's even harder to find a good flute polishing wheel. And I went through a lot of flute polishing wheels. And it was super complicated. It was difficult to find like a good flute polishing wheel. And then I don't even remember who brought me that wheel. But from that point on, it was just like a day and night switch. And it was because it's like an excellent wheel. And it's the Moleman Polygloss HD. It's an excellent flute polishing wheel. There is no second opinion, it works excellent. It's not too hard, it's not too soft. I use slightly different values, like the wheel manufacturers, they always recommend certain, speeds and things, but I found out that I like from the cutting speed, I always went a little down and had quite good results. Yes, so what else do I have here? Regarding those rubber wheels, like those soft rubber wheels, I don't really like them. I know some guys also, they have like quite good results with it, but they always work like in high speed, so you have to turn them really fast so that they create like that certain hardness. Otherwise they're just too soft and they just burn up. It's just a thing, I don't know. And then there is another strange type of polishing wheel. It's from 3M. It calls the tri-zag wheel. In my opinion, it's just junk. So you can't produce like a defined geometry with it. This is like a soft cardboard wheel. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like fiber, and I don't know really what it is. This is just a weird wheel, really messy, not a reliable process. So just don't even try it. I mean, it produces like a good surface, but you have to break that wheel really in. It's not even worth it. Just don't try it. So if you look for a good flute polishing wheel, high gloss flute polishing wheel, try the Molemer Polygloss HD. You will be surprised. But here on my list, very important. So I wrote, finally, it's important that you use the wheels correctly. The best wheel is useless if your programming isn't right. So you should always keep in mind that your stuck removal rate, your QW, your AGF, also spindle rotation, grinding cycles, those parameters are very, very important. The best wheel will not perform if you're not using it right. And what I found in most applications, everybody has like sweet spot standard tooling, 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter. And then the combination is usually perfect. It's like a good setup from cutting depth, wheel diameter, RPM, and feed rate. But then if you go down to smaller diameters or very large diameters, then you get the problem, because your combination is not good. So that means either your removal rate is way too high, or your QW or your aggressiveness is like really low or really high, and then you have all sorts of problems. So that's a whole different topic. So even with the best wheel, you don't have good results if you don't use it right. That's like a big point, and it's even a bigger point for the flute polishing. If you want to have like a really good mirror finish, and not only just on one tool, so over a series from 50 or 60 tools or even more, then it is absolutely crucial. It's so important that your stuck removal must be correct. You have like the whole programming is, it needs to be a consistent amount that you remove. You only remove like a few hundreds of millimeters, and if that gets too much, that wheel, it will just burn up. If you have like a D15 wheel, let's just think about the sizes of the diamond grains. It's so small, that you cannot remove a lot of material with it. Or even worse, if you program like your flute length, and you have like the roughing pass and then the polishing pass, and both have the same length. You have the result, the polishing pass, it will just grind like full speed into the back of the flute, and your wheel will just burn up. So flute polishing, stuck removal must be correct, also consistent, and on the flute, on the bottom and on the back of the teeth, there are certain techniques. You can learn that. Also, we can teach you that. But yes, so conclusion: these wheels will not disappoint you. But of course you have to use them right. So that was my take on the question about the flute wheels and the flute polishing wheels. All right. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this Sunday Tool Talk. I'd love to see you back here in a week or two. And until then, take care, and always remember, if you need help, are looking for training or want to discover something new, Cutting.Tool Academy, your partner for practical training and effective solutions.